I think the key thing with a coach when you're working with a client in terms of helping somebody to work through change is the ability to listen and then almost paraphrase back a lot of what the client is saying to you. In terms of pure coaching, that's what you're doing. You're really listening to the client. You're getting the information from the client that they already know. If you think about some of the things that you know, some of the things that you've learned, and then think about all of those things that you might have forgotten, it's huge. And so asking the right questions of somebody who I'm coaching can be really beneficial in terms of them pulling information that they'd forgotten about to the surface, which will contribute to their overall judgment of a situation and can really change the direction of the change itself. Because of course they're pulling new data into their decision-making process. And so all I'm doing as a coach is helping people make better decisions. As a coach, helping somebody to make a decision because of the rigorous questioning that I will always go through with somebody, they're very, very certain by the end of that process that they've made the right decision, and therefore it gives them much more confidence to implement that decision and to carry it through.
That's quite interesting because it almost sounds like it's a interaction between the softer skills of listening to people, being empathic, and the more harder skills of making decisions.
Listening is such an underrated skill, because if you're listening to somebody and you're actively listening to somebody, you're picking up on everything they say, you're picking up on body language. And often when I'm sat with a client, they will pull a face or they'll do something with their body, and I will say to them, that looked uncomfortable from where I'm sitting. Why does that make you uncomfortable? And of course that makes them then think about, again, their values and what they've got inside emotionally. Because if you can really combine the emotional side of somebody and the logical side of somebody and get them to consider both elements when they're making a decision, when they're making change, again, they're much more likely to stick with it. It's much more likely to be seen through.
And the way you described it, it sounds more than listening. It's also observing and putting what they say together with maybe what you see going on and what you sort of sense about the situation.
Actually listening to them helps them join the dots because of my feedback. And so if I'm looking at somebody's body language and listening intently to what they're saying, I can very often ask more probing questions, delve a little bit deeper, probe a little bit more in order to get more information from them, which then informs their decision and the way they're feeling about a situation.
So feedback is also a very important skill.
Feedback's incredibly important, yes.